What do you need, General?
Can you take a look at these schematics? A scientist named Virgil said they could get me inside the Institute.
The Institute? Why in the world would you want to mess around with them?
They kidnapped my son.
Damn. That's some bad business. Even for them. We'll give you whatever help we can. Don't worry about that. Now, assuming you could build this thing, what exactly does it do?
Did you know the Institute has a teleporter? They call it the molecular...
Teleportation? For real? Wow. That would explain a lot about how the Institute manages to operate. If anyone can make heads or tails of those plans, it'd be Sturgis. I haven't found anything yet that he couldn't build or fix.
Apparently the castle's been trying to get you on the radio. Some kind of situation over there. Better go see what's going on.
Howdy, General.
Just looking to trade a little.
I hope you're finding the broadcast useful.
There you are. Finally.
Uh-huh. Who are you?
I'm Ronnie Shaw, Commonwealth Minuteman. At least I was. Back before Joe Becker got himself killed and the idiots took over.
Joe Becker? Who's that?
That's just sad. General Becker used to run the Minutemen. The last real leader we ever had. After he died, there wasn't anybody left with the guts and brains to pull things together.
What do you actually want?
Heard you were trying to get the Minutemen back on their feet. Thought I'd come see the new general from... So what's your story? What makes you think anybody even wants the Minutemen?
At least we're trying to help people. Can you say this?
Don't give me any attitude, Sonny. I've been a Minuteman longer than you've been alive. But I've heard some good things about what you've been doing. Wouldn't be here otherwise. Now that I'm here, I can see you really need my help.
Are you offering to rejoin?
I guess I am. But first things first. I'm probably the only one who still remembers this. But the castle's armory was located in the West Bastion. All of our best equipment was stored. Weapons, ammo, schematics, you name it. Come on, I'll show you.
I think we're really starting to make a difference.
Hey!
Yes, human. Give to me, human.
Good afternoon. You're tuned to Radio Freedom, broadcasting across the Commonwealth.
Good.
Alert.
Looks like
Alert.
it might still be
One of our
intact.
settlements is asking
The
for
door's
help.
still sealed.
All Minutemen,
Bastion
please
hasn't
respond if you're
collapsed.
in range.
Trick now is finding a way in.
Do you know some way to open this door?
No. And even if we could blast it open, we'd probably destroy what's inside while we're at it. If you can't go through, go around. Let's have a look at the northeast bastion.
Hello, sir.
Let's trade some things.
Of course.
This was the general's quarters. Used to be a tunnel leading from here to the armory. Tunnel's blocked by this rubble. We'll have to find some way to clear it. See if there's still a way through. Pretty dark down here. We better watch our step. Hard to have in my collection. Guarding the castle since forever, as far as I know.
Hi.
Let me see if I can get that gate open. Let's see. I used to know this password. One if by land. Nah, that's not it. For the Commonwealth. God darn it. Oh, it's been a long time. United we stand. Yeah, that was it. That explains all the landmarks. This is, well, was, General McGann. He had your job back when I first joined him. Must have gotten trapped down here when that sea beast attacked the castle. He did manage to keep the armory secure. I'll give him that much. Guess the uniform is yours now, if you want it. So Geezer doesn't need it anymore. Rest in peace, General. Your fight is done, and the Minutemen live on. Excellent. The armory's still intact. Everything we need. Just waiting for us. And the cream of the crop. Schematics for building artillery.
Having artillery would help out quite.
Oh, we used to rain down fire on Deathclaws and super mutants alike. It was a...
Human too weak to carry everything.
Hey.
You sure was strong?
Looks like you've got everything we need. Has it? Sure.
Radio Freedom in 5 minutes.
Gosh darn,
All
it's good to
quiet.
see artillery.
Just how we like it. Stay
Here's
safe
the
out
thing
there.
about the big guns. They can't fire at anything too close. Their range is impressive. That's what the smoke grenades are for. Toss one of those at the bad guys. If we have artillery in range, we'll confirm over the radio and target our fire on your smoke. But first, we better do a test fire. Make sure we're hitting what we're aiming at. You see that little building over there? We'll use that for our aiming. Keep your radio on and tuned to Radio Freedom so we can confirm we're ready. All right, General, if you can hear me, we're ready. Toss one of those smoke grenades into the target area and we'll start the test fire. Got your smoke on the target. You might want to stand back. You know, just in case.
I'd better get back to the broadcast.
Huh?
Hungry all the time.
That looked good from here. You've now got artillery support. Use it wisely, General. Now that we have the armory back,
Valentine is... Well, they thought he might be dead. Or destroyed, whatever. Glad you're back.
I've got to hand it to you, General. You really turned things. I never thought I'd see. We should see about. And Ronnie Shaw.
What do you think of her?
People like her. I'd heard stories about her from the old timers, but I didn't know she was still around. The fact that she's come back to the Minutemen means we must be doing something right. I'll let you know if I hear of any. In the meantime,
I'm sorry to report that the super mutants came back and tore up that settlement pretty bad.
I hate to hear that. This is exactly.
Sure. Bad news. I wasn't able to defend that settlement from the raiders. They got shot up pretty bad.
Damn. We've got to do better than that if we want to keep these settlers on our side.
Preston thought you might be able to figure out these plans for me.
Sure thing. Let's see what you've got.
Do you think you can...
Wow, what a mess. Looks like, encrypted RF transmissions. Okay, so that gets routed through... What the hell? Teleportation. This is some pretty crazy shit. You sure it's for real?
I got this from someone who should know what he's talking about. Can you build it, or not?
Well, yeah. I think so. Anyway, the eggheads never think about the nuts and bolts of actually making something work. But, looks like it's all here. Yeah, I'm gonna need some time to study this thing. The handwriting's pretty hard to make out. But, you can get started on what he calls a stabilized reflector platform. It'll need some pretty high-grade metals, but it's basically not that different than the lining of a jet engine or something like that.
Can you give me a list of what I'll need to build this platform?
Yeah, sure. Here's a list of what you'll need for the first piece. I'm pretty sure we've got all that at Sanctuary, if you want to build it there. While you're working on that, I'll get busy figuring out how to actually build the rest of this thing. Keep in mind, I can already see this is gonna take a crazy amount of juice. Like if you had a spare nuclear reactor handy, we could probably use it. And it's going to be big. So find a nice open building site with lots of power available.
Hello, sir.
Sturgis.
How's it going? Did you find a good spot to build your signal interceptor?
Did you figure out the rest of Virgil's schematics?
I think so. Best I can tell until we actually try to put it together. Here's a list of 3 things that may be harder to find. I think I'll be able to pull together everything else we're gonna need. I'll meet you over at the building site and see if we can actually make this thing work.
you explain how this thing is actually gonna work?
Let me break it down for you. There's, 4 main parts to this thing. 1, a control console to input the code and process the signal. 2, what he calls a relay dish. That's what intercepts the teleporter signal. 3, a molecular beam emitter. It's pretty technical here, but looks like this is what translates your matter into energy for transmission. 4, the stabilized reflector platform that you already built. That's what concentrates and reflects the molecular beam. One thing to keep in mind while you're building this, it all needs to be wired together so all the pieces can talk. I'll see you over at the building. Gotta make sure we've got enough power.
sure this is on the same grid as the rest of the signal interceptor.
What's going on?
Let's trade.
Make sure the beam emitter is perfectly aligned with the platform, or this will never work. Make sure it's all on the same grid. All the parts have got to be able to talk to each other, you know. Once we got everything in place, we'll have to hook it all up to the same power grid.
Sturgis.
Everything looks good on my end. You ready to see if this thing actually...
Let's do this.
You sure? I'll start scanning for an institute.
Uh-huh.
Getting cold feet? I don't blame you. Okay, hold real still. I don't want any corruption of the molecular beam. Oh yeah, by the way, I figured this was a golden opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute, and what they're up to. Yeah, this holotape's all set with a program that will scan their network and download anything it finds. Uh-oh. Yeah, we better hurry. And don't worry about that tubing wiggling around. It's, just there for decoration. Okay. Scanning for the Institute signal. Tracking RF. And... got it! Hold on to your butt!
Hello. I wondered. If you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator. I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Busted. Need the key. Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean?
Who are you?
Sean, it's me.
Father, what's going on?
Sean, are you okay? You're not...
What's going on? Father?
What do you want me to do, Sean? What can I do?
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here!
Who is Father? Where is he?
Father?
Right.
Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Father? That's your name? Your title?
Father is my unofficial title. It's what I've come to mean to the people of the Institute, just as you mean to your son, to Sean.
I'll make this very simple.
He's here, in the Institute. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated. You have traveled very far and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity, it's good to finally meet you. After all this time, it's me. I am.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believe. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now it's least.
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate.
Oh. Human synths? Real?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to... I am their father. Through science, we are family.
And you've been down?
I have. I know you must have questions. Please.
Sure. Kellogg.
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath?
I don't expect you to The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's. Institute technology prolonged his life, and he never failed the Institute. But his cruelty became more apparent with I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you... us.
Sure.
What else can I...
Kellogg.
Kellogg. It wasn't
You knew the man?
I don't expect you to... The Institute tech... I won't lie. What else?
Your mother?
Yes. I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate...
Collateral damage?
I forget that it's been such a short... I don't have any direct memories. And I've had my entire life. Has it always been easy? Of course not. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So you're in...
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. what's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground.
But, Director? Why you?
I was the most qualified for the position, obviously. I've lived my life within these walls, dedicated to science like every other member of the Institute. My hard work has paid off. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince. I know there's more.
Sure.
The Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence. I've been a part of something amazing here. And now, after...
You want me to stay?
Yes.
Right.
The Institute, you've been in the Commonwealth.
How can you say that? How can you be so dismissive of all those people?
Because it is the simple truth. And I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. We really do have... Will you take...
Are you...
Yes, I am. Just... The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. Please, you'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ao in SRB, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet...
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating...
Why build it to look like you?
We'd advanced the technology behind synths to a point where this... a new angle, if you will. Modeling it after myself, see... I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version, do you think you could...
Seriously? You really believe a human could love a synth?
That's a difficult question. I suppose it depends on how... Yours is a unique position. You may be the only one that's truly able to answer these questions. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an...
Sean.
Perhaps someday our synths... can reclaim the Commonwealth.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive circuit.
Hi, Doc.
That's the third primary drive. They weren't kidding. You really are here. Well, all right. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much. I think, if you don't mind my asking...
I just wanted to find...
Now that you've found him, now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the... As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanics. We maintain and upgrade all of... There's a lot of machinery behind these walls. The work we do might... So, now that you're...
On board with what?
The Institute, of course. Sean, and if there's anything else you'd like to know...
Who built...
The construction of the original... Over time, their sons and daughters dug... It's a process that... Just think with...
Oh, I don't know. Most of them have lasted long past the time of life.
It's an honor to have you here.
No visible reaction.
We'll start with this trial. The dosage will be much larger this time, and the side effects will likely be more pronounced.
Will there be any pain?
I honestly don't know. You know this protocol, sir. Authorized
Reporting status. All functions.
Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office, doesn't he? Well, you can tell him that I intend to speak to Father about these unannounced security sweeps.
I'm Sir seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock
We're
some
all
heads
looking
together?
forward to working with you.
Carry on, sir.
Glad you made it. Upgrades I asked for. Maybe I should take some courses with you. Send a message.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other departments.
You going soft on me, Alana? My methods get results, and they will this time as well. You'll see.
Like any machine, a synth can malfunction. Just wish it didn't happen so often.
If the robotics division was a little more careful, we wouldn't have synths trying to escape.
Excuse me, Doctor.
So, here you are. Just a nail. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure you understand.
Why? Don't you trust?
I'll be honest. The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time. It's nothing personal. Now, Father has asked that I provide... Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths.
Why would synths want to escape?
Synths do not want. They might look like... As to why they're escaping? Our main instrument is the Courser. A third Coursers hunt down... They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration. But I gather you know all this. In fact...
I'm no stranger to...
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for... I suppose I'll have to ask robotics. Now, unless you need something...
If you're the...
Dr. Zimmer holds that position. He's super... in his absence.
All systems nominal. Identity. Clearance confirmed.
You smell... like you've been above ground.
I can't express how truly humbling it is to stand here.
Time to examine my latest reports on batch 274.
Not yet. I've been reviewing Father's plans to expand our operations at Warwick. He's eager to get that going, so I've had to put everything else to one side.
I wonder how the Warwick family is doing. Young Wally must be close to 10 years old by now. It's remarkable that any child can survive for so long up there, don't you think?
I try not to think too much about it. We have more than enough to occupy ourselves here. Those people are the last remnants of a dying past. It's best not to dwell on the subject.
There's still people and they're suffering. We can at least admit that it's regrettable. After all, how can we hope to redefine mankind if we can't even hold on to our own humanity?
Well, that's a question best left to our colleagues in the robotics division.
Yes, well...
Hey, Doc.
Welcome.
I
So good to
suppose
have you
you're
here.
right.
Dr. Clayton Holt, I can't wait for you to...
Sure. Like what?
I was just about to explain. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division, our most important To that end, we've even started to explore... You probably saw them.
The gorillas are synths too?
They are indeed. Judging by your reaction, the initiative is still in its early... I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as...
I'm an outsider.
Even if some... Our project, from what I've... In any case...
Is there anything I can do to help out?
There might be. Tell you what.
Please resist any urge you might feel to the specimen of
Father has done remarkable things.
When are you going to... Tell me about this mysterious phase.
No, I can't talk about it.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Excuse me, Doctor?
Ah, it's you. You're here then. Yes, I know who you are. We all do. While I'm sure Father is very happy that you're here, I do...
What is it you're working on?
Advanced Systems, Special Projects. You've seen the boy, Synth, already. We've been hard at work on him for quite a while now. Oh, before I forget, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a Courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
A Courser chip? What's it do?
The same thing it does for our coursers. Creates a link to the relay that allows them, and now you, to get in and out at will. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Now, unless there's something else, I really do need to get back to work.
Is everything okay?
Yes, things are... I'm sorry, I don't...
It must make you proud to see all that's right.
I can't imagine. Is it true food supplement 77? That was my favorite one. Hi there.
I am sorry, sir, but that supplement is no longer available.
Useless machine.
Nice.
It must make you proud to see all that Father has done, all that he has built. Every day we invite some new presence. He's incredibly bright for his age.
I know you'll achieve great things here. We all do.